Feels like it's been forever since we've done one of these.
Impact podcast, he means, not just regular podcasts. We were here yesterday.
Yeah, the last two Impact podcasts have been we've been busy for them.
Yeah.
Now we're here when there's really not much to talk about. We're gonna be spending more time talking about day one, the WWE pay-per-view, instead of Impact, but there is still a little bit to talk about with Impact.
In my opinion, tonight's podcast is purely for having a good time, enjoying the end of the year together.
Well, the new year doesn't really start until the Mike Romies.
True. I mean, we have another stasis week, but
yeah.
Whatever.
And for those who don't know, the Mike Romi Awards is where we award the best and worst in pro wrestling. It's our second annual award show, and that'll be happening January 8th, Saturday, same day as Battle of the Belts and Hard to Kill. And we've got some for today. We've got some champagne.
Prosecco.
Yeah, Prosecco. Oh, and also with the Mike Romies, I like I said, I guarantee, I promised, wrestler will call in for a congratulations speech or an award, a winning speech. I've booked it.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What?
It's a surprise.
I hate this surprise because I don't know what you actually.
You don't know?
No.
All right. Well, I guess he'll just have to wait until January 8th to find out. No.
Should I know?
I haven't told you.
Okay. I didn't know if it was something that like was kind of like obvious that like we've discussed or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also guess how many drinks I have right now. Wrong. I have seltzer. I have. Technically, this doesn't count, but it's still here. This unopened can of Red Bull. I have this mug of espresso that I didn't finish drinking. I have my Prosecco. I have this fun little beer that I grabbed. I don't know why this happens to me. Do I want to drink espresso right now?
I feel like every time you have espresso out, you never drink it. You never drink it past 5.
That's absolutely not true.
Never seen you.
But it's funny because you complain about this all the time, and then you also have complained about the fact that like I'm notorious in this apartment for getting a drink, drinking half the drink, putting it back in the fridge,
leaving it out overnight.
Right. My stepdad made fun of me when I was home, and he was like, "Well, you are the queen of leaving out half-open drinks or half-drink drinks." And I'm like, "Have I always been like this?"
You have.
Like, I didn't know. I thought it was kind of just like something that like happened when I was here, but I guess like I used to do that at home too. So you're not alone in this. It's not just
that doesn't
everybody
give you
else
hints
that's
or
ever met me.
anything that you should maybe fix that.
There's a lot of things about me personally that I should
dive
change.
Into that right now.
I was just gonna say that doesn't really make the list.
All right, so Impact.
No. Oh, yeah. You want to recap the show before we dive into them?
Nothing really happened. This was the end of year awards, so we're gonna talk about the awards that they gave out. This is part 2. Part 1 was last week, on Christmas Eve. No, day before Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. And we got a couple promos, but mostly just award stuff and replays of past matches. match of the year contenders for Impact. We got a fun BTI match, VSK and Zicky Dice versus Decay. We'll go more in depth with that. But yeah, we 3 awards we got today were Men's Match of the Year, Knockouts Tag Team of the Year, and Men's Wrestler of the Year.
So, can I ask, do you know the other winners besides,
Tag team was
I know
Gun Club. Knockouts, or not Gun Club.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think
I'm
that's
thinking
their
their
name.
finisher Gun Stun. It was Good Brothers.
Okay, yeah, I totally forgot what their name was, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it's not Gun Club. I know it's like Machine Gun. The Ass Boys won it somehow.
Tag Team of the Year was the Good Brothers. Knockouts Match of the Year was Mickie James versus Deonna Purrazzo, and Knockout of the Year was Deonna Purrazzo. I think that's all they did last week. Yeah.
Okay. That was it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Swaggy. I was kind of surprised by some of the winners.
I don't think I was. I
mean,
think this all tracked.
But I think it gave me. I think I was or I was like not assuming. I guess I just like mistook the Impact fan base. They're very loyal to their own, which I didn't.
The only one that I am a little surprised by is Knockouts Tag Team of the Year.
That I was surprised by, but I also...
Actually, I'm also surprised by the Match of the Year. Men's Match of the Year.
That surprised me. Because that flew so far under my radar at the time. But in retrospect, that was the first match that I saw, and I was like, oh, this is fun.
Goes to show that Impact fans aren't a bunch of marks.
Yeah, no, Impact fans really fucking... Yeah, they use their noggins when they're voting.
They go for quality.
Yeah. That's why Impact is a wrestling fan's wrestling show.
If only they could get a higher production value. Bigger space.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
God,
not be on Access TV.
Please, for the love of God. All right. You want to talk about the news? Did you not get any news?
Me. Yeah, I do. Oh, I did. I put my phone over here thinking I wasn't going to need it for whatever reason. But I do, in fact, need it if I'm doing the news. Back. So, here. Back in place. I have my band-aids off today, and let me just say, my fingers hurt so fucking bad. I want to cry.
Okay.
Look at this.
That's not safe for work.
I can't see it. There's not enough detail. It's not like it's a fucking... Not a wound.
It's just a small one.
It's a wound, but it's not a wound. Folks, if you're squeamish and that made you upset, I'm sorry. You're very squeamish. Actually, I guess I only had one piece of news tonight. It wasn't even a piece of news, really. Well, actually, I've got 2 pieces of news. Let's go with one. First one is more so just an interesting tidbit that I learned, which is that Miro worked Full Gear with a hamstring injury.
For his match against Danielson?
Yes, I assume that is the case. Apparently that's also why he hasn't been wrestling.
Yeah.
Injured.
Apparently his leg was heavily taped up for it.
Yeah, which I guess I just didn't.
Yeah, me neither.
Notice. And the other thing that I have as far as news is concerned, and the only other thing I have as far as news is concerned, is that apparently Tony Storm, straight up paid out of pocket for a flight to go home and left. The last house show that she was on, just straight up, like nobody really.
Is this according to Body Slam? Is this the bodyslam.net article?
Not sure. I think this was according to
reading this on Body Slam. I don't know if it was posted anywhere else, but just be wary with Body Slam because they were the people that reported that Andrade and Charlotte split up.
Right.
Yeah.
They are very dirt shady, but and let me. Yeah, I guess this is according to Body Slam, but it's been okay, yeah. But according to Body Slam, apparently she straight up just fucked off, which I feel fucking bad for her because it seems like she was just fed up, and I don't blame her. Because she made a comment recently too about having to sit in catering, like for no good fucking reason.
I mean, there was that time after the draft where we didn't see her for so much time. She only had like 7 matches on the main roster.
Yeah. It just confirms my feelings that like getting called up 9 times out of 10 is just a fucking killer for your career. You know, I wouldn't want to be called up because like Tony was doing fine on NXT.
It's killer for your career because you can either make a lot of money on the main roster, or you can leave or get released and make a lot of money on AEW.
That's not always how it works, but for certain people, yeah. I'm just hoping that she finds a place that she's happy. Because she's a great wrestler, and I was really coming around to enjoying her more often.
Yeah.
And also, it wasn't... I know I noticed it. But apparently a lot of other people also noticed that she lost, like, a lot of weight. And it's just, like... It seems like that was kind of WWE's and it's like she changed so much about who she was as a person, and she also toned down who she was as far as a character is concerned.
She's immensely talented.
And for what? Yeah, like they diluted her so badly. It's like
I've got a little piece of news regarding Bryan Danielson. He wants to fight Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah, he was a little bummed that he wasn't able to be the one to replace Bandito.
Right. Replace Bandito, yeah. But hopefully we'll see him wrestle Gresham very soon. This is in a interview with Wrestling Inc. He talks about Gresham being hard to kill. But yeah, he just wants to be one of the people to go after the title. Thinks the title's in good hands with Gresham. I think Danielson would be absolutely perfect to defend that belt against.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it seems like Gresham's gonna have a little time on his hands, so I wouldn't be shocked if we saw that matchup sooner rather than later. Yeah, not a big news night. Mostly because we did news yesterday.
Apparently GCW, Brett Lauderdale of GCW wants to keep GCW off of TV and keep it authentic. They want complete control over GCW, apparently, according to Fightful. Hopefully that means having it on Fight TV and actually having it run on time. Oh, and something we didn't talk about yesterday. You're distracted by the cat meowing, aren't you?
You hear it.
You gotta focus
You hear it.
on other things besides that cat.
You can't. The cat has consumed my life.
But what we didn't talk about yesterday was X-Pac said that he is cleared to wrestle. And no idea whether he has a deal with WWE or he is working elsewhere. But he is cleared to wrestle, and my God, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he wants to wrestle too.
Hopefully he shows up at like a lot like indie promotions all over the place. Or if he has a deal with WWE, bring him out in the Rumble. That'd be sick. Have him like do the same thing Punk's doing. Have him wrestle small guys. Elevate them. Like imagine like like just have him have a match with like Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker,
that'd be awesome.
Idris Enofe. Oh, Zion Quinn versus X-Pac. That'd be sick.
Yes. I'd be down for that. I hope there's a part of me that hopes that he comes back and he does WWE stuff. Just because I'm kind of tired of seeing, for lack of a better term, I'm tired of seeing WWE kind of fumble the bag a little bit. I'd love for them to get a winner.
I'm this may sound stupid, but I'm tired of seeing legends leave WWE or be tired or be sick of the company. Like it's totally understandable their thoughts that they want to work elsewhere or stuff like that. But it's so damning for WWE if these people that have worked there for so long, have been seemingly lifers, are leaving to go elsewhere.
Yeah, I know. It would be nice to, especially somebody like X-Pac.
Yeah.
Fingers are crossed.
All right. So is that all the news that we have?
That's all I got for you. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. We've got a lot of predictions to talk about, which stick around till after the recap for our predictions for WWE Day 1. We have there are a lot of matches, and we have a lot of differences. We disagree on a lot of things. We do. All right, so Impact today. The only match that we had was on BTI with VSK and Zicky Dice versus Decay. This is a pretty fun match. Not much to really talk about because it was BTI. Crazy Steve biting a lot.
Crazy Steve has no concept of like maybe don't bite.
Yeah.
Because it's probably not legal. You know what? It's Crazy Steve. Let him do what he wants to do. I know it's Crazy Steve, but like in my notes it says Crazy, and I just that's who he is to me.
Also, I stumbled upon this this GIF. I think it's from Ring of Honor. Of I can't tell who that is with Shinsuke. It kind of looks like Okada. Against the Briscoes. And Shinsuke is just learning about the Code of Honor, and he shakes the Briscoes' hands, but then he shakes the ref's hand. He then shakes Okada's hand, and then he holds his hand out because he's just waiting to see who he can shake next.
God, what a match that must have been.
Oh my God,
Jesus
yeah.
H. Alright. Crazy Steve bites the head of Zicky Dice.
He didn't want to get his mouth on his hair. He hovered a little bit.
Even Crazy Steve has some fucking limits, okay? Black Taurus gets in, and Zicky Dice immediately is just like, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. It's VSK, and VSK is fucking pissed. He takes Crazy Steve off the apron to distract the ref. He takes advantage of this distraction, pounds the shit out of Black Taurus before getting Zicky back in. And this time, Zicky is a little more like, okay, sure, I'll wrestle. Eventually, VSK gets back in. He gets a front face lock on Black Taurus. Crazy Steve gets in. He clotheslines VSK. He clotheslines Zicky Dice. He gets a little neck cracker to VSK, and then a little nip, a little bite. And then Black Taurus gets in. Yeah, he hits a pile driver to kill Zicky Dice, and game over. Job done. VSK and Zicky maybe on the outs. We can't be sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've been a contention since VSK joined because he's like the prodigy, whereas Zicky is like the fuck up. Yeah.
Can I say something? Might not be popular.
You don't?
I
think he's
like
really
VSK
good.
That much. I just think he's very dime a dozen.
For his age and his time in wrestling, he definitely is not where he should be. Like, I feel like he hasn't differentiated himself very much. I get what you mean, but he's still pretty talented.
That's not what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not saying that he's not talented. I'm just saying that he's like, he doesn't strike me as anything fantastically new.
Yeah.
That's it. And hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just like not paying enough attention.
Yeah. Yeah. So once we start the episode, we go to a replay of Eddie Edwards versus Moose from Turning Point. That is the one Impact Plus show that we missed recently. And
was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes.
Eddie rips up the canvas. Then
which to say, very interesting to see an actual ring. It's they're like actually fascinating.
I was looking at the wood of it, and like the wood actually does like rise when you step on it, like the planks. Like D'Lo Brown was mentioning, they rise when you step, so you can easily break an ankle on
it. That's one of the reasons why I really like D'Lo and Striker.
Yeah,
they're just so knowledgeable. And they give that knowledge in such a like, what's the word? They give that like knowledge in like a very like fluid, and very fluid way where it's like I don't feel like I'm being spoken down to. I just feel like somebody's like telling me like leaning over my shoulder like, and this is what's happening here. And I'm like, oh.
They also get a little bit meta with their wrestling terms.
I think that honestly, like, they're very complimentary to the wrestling in the sense that, like, with like Raw, I'm either paying attention to the wrestling or I'm paying attention to the announcers. Even SmackDown has that sometimes because Pat is a very big personality. But like D'Lo and Matt, it's just like I'm getting like the information and I'm watching, and it's all just kind of like, weaving together.
They're one of the best duos right now. Excalibur and Taz is up there. They're very close to being the best duo. Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, they're getting up there, but Cole's he's rocky. He gets annoying.
Yeah, I get that. Also, can I just say, I would love for there to be a counter of how many times I say that.
Ignore it.
With with this fucking cat, what I meant to say actually is with this fucking cat, it also annoys our cat. And I don't mean like not annoys, but like she hears a cat crying. So our cat's just like sitting up like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, babe, it's just under the window, okay? And if anyone wants to know, I saw the cat. It's fine. I'm this close to taking it off the street, but Mark's not going to let me, and our cat won't let me either. So I'm keeping an eye on it.
After that, we got a promo of the Inspiration and the Influence. I had to go answer the door to pick up something Liz ordered, so I didn't take any notes on it. So, Liz, what notes did you take?
So basically, there's like a... Caleb's taking pictures of Tennille and her little friend.
Madison Rayne.
Madison Rayne, thank you. And then the Inspiration come in. And they're like, it's like, we're supposed to be doing a photo shoot right now. What are you guys doing? And they're like, no, it's our photo shoot time. And Caleb's like, yeah, check the schedule. Like, it's our time to have the photo shoot. And I was like, you guys must be in a bigger place than that. Because it's not like there's a photographer. It's Caleb taking the pictures. But anyways, it's very passive aggressive. Inspiration is wearing outfits, for lack of a better term.
That's what you want to call them.
Yeah, not my taste. It's very passive aggressive. I didn't realize that the relationship between the Inspiration and Tennille had soured so much.
Oh,
so
you didn't
kind
notice?
of surprising to me. No, I the last time I was like consciously watching it, they were still like Madison Rayne was still getting pissed off because she was like, this is
yeah, it all happened with the Inspiration, the Influence versus Decay, and they butt heads during that.
Okay, gotcha. And then Inspiration's photographer comes in, and it's that I don't remember his last name, but I remember when he said his last name the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, that sounds like it's just one word. But his name is Jay. He got beat up by David All. Thank you. He got beaten up by
And then he said he wanted to do more. He had a promo with Scott.
And he is the Inspiration's photographer. And Caleb doesn't care for this shit. One little bit. So Caleb and Jay, I think they're kind of setting up for a feud because they face off for a minute.
I'm sure. I've been tired of the Influence for so long, so hopefully this spices them up a little bit. So after that, we had a replay of the Inspiration versus Decay from Bound for Glory, where the Inspiration made their debut, and they won the Knockouts Tag Team titles. Then they gave the award for Knockouts Tag Team of the Year, which is Jordynne Grace versus Rachel Ellering, which kind of surprised me. I thought people would vote like Decay or something.
I thought that they'd vote for the Inspiration, but I think that's kind of when I was like, oh, the Impact fans care.
I mean, I don't think like Impact fans were very happy about the Inspiration coming in and immediately winning.
Yeah, because people were pretty psyched about Decay winning. So I honestly, even I was like, this seems wrong. This doesn't seem appropriate. But
so after that, we got Eddie Edwards, Rich Swann, Willie Mack, Rhino, and Heath giving a promo. Eddie says, "We are hard to kill." Rich says, 9 days away, we're hard to kill. You think you've got it all figured out. We know how to get a little hardcore. We know what it's like to go to war. What is it good for? It's gonna get good. Keith says, hardcore war, hard to kill. VBD, good brothers. You'll find out how hard it is to kill these boys. And then Rhino just says, gore, gore, gore. And then we got top 10 social media posts of 2021. And then a replay of Sammy Callahan versus Kenny Omega from Slammiversary. Forgot how insane that match was. That was so good.
That match was insane, and on top of that, then like the ending of the match was insane.
Damn.
Then the stream just cut off. And we were all saying that,
somebody ran out. We're like, who the fuck was that?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, that's the one thing I really liked about this was that, like, and maybe it's just because Impact puts on a lot of bangers, but like tonight we got to remember like some really fun matches that I had kind of forgotten were as good as they were.
To the biggest company in wrestling, WWE. WWE, they would post their best matches as like the biggest ones, the ones of the biggest stars or had the most impact, like Bianca versus Sasha at WrestleMania, or John Cena versus Roman, which wasn't even necessarily that good. Brock versus Roman. Not Becky versus Bianca. Just like ones where the star power or the impact was better than the match itself, and the quality of the wrestling isn't put as number one priority. And clearly with these matches that were nominated for impact, they cared about the quality. It's more about that than the star power, as we'll see from what won match of the year.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think as far as, because this is one of our categories, is match of the year for the Micronies. Remembering WWE matches of the year was really hard for me in comparison to AEW and Impact, where I just felt like the matches were like there's a significance placed on these matches. It's not just
I can't say the
time.
same since I log every match and rate them. But looking back at a lot of WWE's matches, a lot of them were fantastic this year. Like Roman, Edge, and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. Roman versus Daniel Bryan. I think that was at Payback or Backlash. That's it. Edge and Seth, all the iterations of that. But yeah, it is mostly like that star power that they care about.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that we had a replay of Jonah's debut, when he came out to attack Josh Alexander, and then which was that turning point. And then they showed us Jonah in his first match against Jay Vidal. They gave us a replay of the Ultimate X match from Slammiversary, one of my favorite matches this year. Like, that was incredible. That introduced to us Chris Bay, one of our favorites.
Yeah. That match, I think that's one of those matches that that's stuck with me consistently. Because it was like it had a little bit of flavor in the sense that it was like kind of funny. And then there were just moments where we were both sitting there.
And Ultimate X is one of the best match types out there.
Yeah, and it's funny to me that Impact has it, and I don't think I've ever seen it really copied.
Yeah, it's because how can you copy a fucking belt suspended on wires that wrestlers have to climb.
Yeah. Whoever fucking thought of that was.
So then we got the Wrestler of the Year, which was Josh Alexander. This was pretty expected for me. I mean, with the other nominees, which are like Kenny, I think Moose. I forget the other nominees, but Josh very much seemed like a fan favorite and a favorite of the companies.
Yeah.
Really?
This was where I thought Kenny was going.
He wasn't really an Impact wrestler.
I guess I just thought because he was like such a big name.
He's kind of what brought us to Impact at first. Yeah, I figured because that shocked the world with him winning the Impact belt that people wouldn't pick him.
Yeah, that's true.
Then we got a replay of Moose versus Rich Swann from Sacrifice. Then we got a replay of last week's vignette introducing Masha Slamovich, who will be debuting at Impact. Well, she already debuted against Deonna Purrazzo, but she'll be returning to Impact next week, which will be exciting. She's a very talented wrestler. Then we got a promo from Mercedes Martinez. Yeah. She said, "I'm the OG badass, and when you speak my name, you better put some respect on it. Better women than you have tried and failed to beat me. Let's make this dance next week." He said, we gotta hurry this up. I gotta go to AEW.
She's like time's a ticking. I hope. Well, I guess we won't see her on Impact again.
They don't have a partnership anymore, so.
I want somebody to get a partnership with New Japan.
AEW. They already do have one.
Yeah. I want to see it more often.
I have a feeling we'll see somebody show up at next week's show. Because it's the first TBS show. They're making it a big deal. Card is stacked. So they might throw somebody in.
I think after Wrestle Kingdom, I think that's when we're going to get Okada. I just want you to know that I am so excited for wrestling. I know this is not on topic, but we also have like 5 things to talk about tonight. I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait. I am a little sad that we're not going to get the last day
When's
of
the last day?
I think. I'm pretty sure it's 3 days. And I'm pretty sure it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Why wouldn't we get the last day? No.
It's just not advertised. I'll open up NJPW World on my laptop and confirm, but I know that's going to suck the life out of any single I have.
New Japan versus Noah? Or is it a 4th day?
Actually, you know what? How about this? Wrestle Kingdom. No, I think... Let's see. Wrestle Kingdom 16 is an upcoming 3-day professional wrestling. 4th, 5th, and January
4th, 5th,
8th.
And 8th.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, a lot of people are wrestling a lot of times, so maybe give it to them.
Miriam asks, doesn't Impact technically have a partnership with New Japan, considering they have Bullet Club and Finjuice? I think it's more so the fact that Impact truly has their wrestlers be independent contractors, so they just let them go wherever as long as they're not signing full contracts, which is why a lot of people don't show up at AEW, because they would have to be signing full contracts to go there.
Also, that's why Kenta was allowed to just straight up switch teams. Yeah. Also, night 3 is NJPW
When's
versus
the Stardom
Noah.
match? Because there's a Stardom thing happening at Wrestle Kingdom too. Yeah.
It's there now.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Can I just say, by the way, whenever whenever Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. get separated for tag matches, I'm always just like, that's fucked up. Let's see. I don't see anything in the way of it. There's gonna be a 4-way match for the provisional King of Pro Wrestling 2022.
I hope it's Toru
trophy.
Yano. It better be Toru Yano.
On night 2, the third match that is being advertised is Mayu Iwatani and Starlight Kid versus Tam Nakano and Saya Kamitani. I assume that's the Stardom match.
It's a.
I think, Kid.
Is that a tag team match or is that a singles match? The one you just read. Tag team. Okay, then that's the one I saw.
Also, Miho Abe is going to be at. I think she's going to be with Dangerous Tekkers for their match on the first night. I'm so excited because I love her. It's living my dream.
But yeah, it better be Toru Yano that wins the provisional King of Pro Wrestling.
Oh, so night 1 is going to be with participants TBA, New Japan, Ranbo to determine who will challenge for the provisional King of Pro Wrestling 2022 trophy on night 2. So night 1's first match. Ooh. Oh, and Yo versus Show is going to be like the second one. Damn. I'm so fucking excited.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be so much fun. And I think that they're going to give us because I think Kevin Kelly is going to be in Japan. So I think they're going to give us the English version right away at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time when I will be watching it.
Also, going back to Impact, apparently Hard to Kill will have a sold-out crowd. Good for them. This fucking pay-per-view deserves it. Hard to Kill is going to be insane.
I'm excited for that. I cannot wait for the women's Ultimate X match. Do we get clarity on what that's for?
The shot at the women's the Knockouts title.
Okay. I wish it were for a women's.
They don't want to introduce too many titles. I mean, you could already see how they're handling the digital media title. They don't want to have too many.
This smells like the bathroom at a bar.
Maybe they just pour that all over the bathroom.
Like it smells like beer, but there's also this very perfumey scent. And it's thrown me off just a little bit.
All right. Going back to the episode, we have a couple things to just wrap up. We got the men's match of the year, which was a surprise. Josh Alexander versus TJP on BTI / Impact from June 3rd. This went up against Kenny versus Sammy at Slammiversary, Moose versus Rich Swann, Christian versus Josh Alexander. Like this had some stiff competition. And I am shocked that this won it because it was just from a BTI. Like they knocked it out of the park with that match.
This was like we were saying before, I think this was when I really was like, oh, the Impact fans are like paying attention.
The episode where that happened was the first episode of Impact we watched. Yeah.
Was it? Okay. I remember, first of all, I was like, TJP. But I remember seeing that match and being like, this Josh Alexander fella is real interesting. How could you not love the guy? First of all, he seems like a lovely human being in general. Second of all, and when he mocked up his wife's pictures. Oh. But on top of that, he's just like such an awesome wrestler.
All right. And then we got a replay of that exact match, which forgot how hard hitting that match was. Oh my god. It was so great to see that again.
Also, yeah, no, and to slowly see like the people trickle out to watch it was super fun. Yeah. I think if there were ever like a first match for us to see,
I think it was Mark Henry who said the ultimate goal of a wrestler is to make other wrestlers mark out. And if you can get wrestlers to pop,
that makes sense.
You've done it.
Yeah. I'm really glad that we got to rewatch that match. I thought that was an awesome match. It was super
All right, you
fun.
want to talk about the bests of the night?
Let's talk about the best of the night. I mean,
it'll be easy. It'll be real easy.
I don't know.
And I won't give an update on the top 10 wrestlers in professional wrestling. You'll have to wait until the Mike Romi's, which is January 8th, to get the final update on the 2021 top 10 wrestlers. Scratch that. Top 20 wrestlers in professional wrestling. Yes, there are 20. There were some names from the indies that popped in there. You might recognize some local people. There's some names in there. Like indie Japanese wrestlers, or like somebody from BJW's in there. I think two people from BJW are in there. Yeah, indie people, AW people, Impact people, like all over the place. And then WWE. All right, so best of the night, promo of the night. Mercedes. You want to give it a Mercedes?
Or well, wait. We did get a weird promo with the
Undead Bridesmaids.
What are they called? The little.
Because that happened at the end. I left the room when that happened. You were still watching it. The Undead Bridesmaids showed up.
Yeah, because we get this weird little promo where the Undead Bridesmaids are sitting there and they're like super jabbering about they need to find some souls for Mother and blah 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 blah, and if they don't, she's gonna start taking what she needs, and then she comes out of nowhere and she shoots lightning from her fingertips. And both Kimberly and Lauren. The other girl, Brandy Lauren, crumple to the ground, vanish. And then, I guess Su Yung, for real?
Okay, so my eyes did not deceive me. Is pregnant?
Yeah. That's the vibe. That's what it looked like.
Don't know the vibe with that. Don't know if she's actually pregnant.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or
I don't know.
Kayfabe? Can you have a kayfabe?
If it's kayfabe, she's doing a great job of making it look like she's pregnant. Imagine she's actually pregnant, and then like one day her kid's like, "So, Mom, what were you doing while like when you couldn't work? Because you were pregnant with me." She's like, "Well, this."
Oh God. The kid's under contract by Impact. The kid's technically Scott D'Amore's by contract.
It's sort of like you know how like parents will do that like cute little thing where like you put like the baby's like little footprint like in ink and like you stamp it down on some paper and like it's like keepsake. That's how they signed the Impact contract. They can't write.
All right. So, promo of the night. Still Mercedes Martinez. Okay. Wrestler of the night.
Yeah. Sure. Also, this tastes like alcoholic grape soda. The sour ale that we got. It looks like grape soda.
Huh.
It tastes like grape soda.
All right. So, wrestler of the night. VSK.
First of all, it was Crazy Steve, so fuck you. Come on, year-end episode. Let's give it to Crazy Steve.
Why would we give it to Crazy Steve?
What does it matter? Because he bit a lot of people and he got away with it.
Zicky Dice. That's
Crazy Steve. I'm not budging. That is not our compromise.
Not giving it to Crazy Steve. Was he in the match?
Black Taurus. He hit a pile driver at the end.
Zicky Dice.
I'll take either one of Decay. He's not in Decay, so... I don't like that our final argument over this shit is going to be for the only match that was on Impact, and it wasn't even on Impact, it was on BTI. I'm sorry if I'm peeking. I don't need to yell.
Thank you, Miriam. If you have a question for our question segment, leave it in the chat now so we can answer it after the bests of the night. If you're watching on YouTube.
And we announced that it's
YouTube, leave it in the comments. If you're listening on Spotify, join us at the live show, twitch.tv/Pinfall Podcast, and talk to us live. All right, Liz. Zicky Dice. Zicky Dice.
Crazy Steve.
Sticky Dice.
Crazy Steve.
Crazy Dice.
Crazy Steve. Crazy
Fine, I'll go with Crazy fucking Steve.
Yes! I win one final argument this year.
You just kept saying Crazy Steve over and over. No,
yes,
it's
and
not.
That's how you win an argument.
All right, match of the night. Match of the night. As always, we go from the best to the worst. Liz will say if she agrees. Let's start with the worst. This is the worst. Decay versus the Learning Tree. Now I pick for match of the night. Decay versus the Learning Tree. Liz, do you agree? You're not saying if you agree.
Match I said no.
We wouldn't make it to our predictions. You don't have a choice. Why'd I ask you? It's Decay versus Learning Tree. All right. So let's move on. We'll do the question segment after the predictions. So hang tight to your questions. We will be getting to them very soon. But right now, let us talk about our predictions for WWE's Day 1. So, Liz, we're going to go from the least important match to the most important match. All right? So, let's start with the pre-show, which is announced to be Ricochet and Cesaro versus Ridge Holland and Sheamus. Who would you pick? Sheamus and Ridge. Also, we'll be having up our Cat Predicts, Pepita Predicts up tomorrow, if not Saturday before Day 1.
Yeah, she's been really, really, really lazy this year. He keeps telling us that she's taking these days off, and
even though she doesn't
I don't know
edit
what
these
fucking
herself.
days she works. God forbid we give her some treats.
All right.
I know.
So you picked Sheamus and Ridge. I picked Ricochet and Cesaro, especially after that show that Ricochet put on during that gauntlet match. I think it might be giving Ricochet a slight push. Slight push.
Here's the thing. I haven't paid attention to SmackDown.
That didn't all come through. You're talking too quiet.
I haven't paid attention to SmackDown in a hot minute. What I'm saying is I
gauntlet match was
when was the gauntlet match?
That was the Christmas one. It was on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. The Christmas episode. It's hard for me to get into wrestling when I'm not with you. It's like my dad doesn't.
I tried watching it with my dad. First of all, I tried watching Impact with my dad. And I didn't realize it was the end of year awards. And I was like, shit, there's not a single match on tonight. And then we watched SmackDown together. And he was on his phone the whole time watching a video play loudly over the TV. I'm like, all right.
My dad, out of nowhere, it may have been while I was watching wrestling, because I was home for several episodes of wrestling, was on Facebook and played at full volume some video, some stupid ass video. And I'm just sitting there like,
our dads were at the same
going on?
Page.
Yeah, I guess that's like a thing. I guess that's just a thing.
All right, so next up, Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. I chose Drew McIntyre as well. The thing is, though, if this match isn't the pre-show, some weird shit's happening. Something's happening in this match.
Well, apparently Drew complimented Madcap Moss.
What do you mean, like in kayfabe or just in an interview?
Like, he said that, like, working with him has been like a real fucking treat or something.
He's a very pleasant
effect. Dude. You know, one thing I really love about him is, like, people go to him, I think, for, like, dirt, more or less. And every time he's just so fucking, like, Because somebody asked him, like, what his reaction was to, that final house show with Jeff Hardy. And Drew just said, the internet blows stuff out of proportion. As long as he's happy, I'm happy. I was like, fuck, Drew, that's not what they want to hear, and I love that about you.
Miriam suggested maybe Drew will use his sword on Madcap Moss. Maybe.
It's gonna be like those magician tricks where he like,
like,
saws Madcap Moss in half.
Competition. Or it's a fedora on a pole match.
Invite me. I'll be there.
No.
Mark.
No.
I thought of this earlier, and now that I'm thinking about it again, it sounds real good. What do you call a fake amphibian?
What?
Frogulin. No! I don't know what you're doing, but no! I was so proud of it. I was so proud of it.
Now it's going to stay like this for the rest of the show.
I thought that was a good joke. I haven't had a joke in a couple weeks.
All right, so next, we both picked Drew McIntyre. Next up we have Edge versus The Miz. Liz, it was a funny joke. All right.
Thank you.
I picked Edge too. But here's the thing. Miriam said, "How can I give more money to this podcast?" You can donate. I think you can donate. I don't know if we have donations set up. But or you could do bits too. I think you can do bits. Here's the thing with this match: Edge versus Miz.
Support my joke telling career.
We're obviously getting Beth Phoenix showing up. Obviously. Will she come out for Edge losing in a fishy way and then she'll get involved? Or will Edge win and then she'll come out? What will motivate her to show up? That's the question. I know.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I am really excited to see her, but I really just don't know what the vibe is going to be in any respect. I don't even know if we're getting, like, the thing is also, like, Reese, I think, is back, like, wrestling. I don't know if Beth
maybe she is. That'd be cool.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be weird only because, like, it's one thing for, like, you know, how Becky and Seth are like, oh, we've got the baby on, like, the tour bus. It's like, what else has this baby really known? Like, their kids, I don't think really have that same experience. And they're, like, kind of at, like, a conscious age. I don't know. I don't know shit about their family. I'm just saying that I don't know. It's interesting when, like, wrestlers like Beth don't do interviews on the regular that are like, well, maybe I'll return to wrestling. Then I don't have any fucking clue.
Who knows at this point? What
color is your light now?
Pink.
What color is your light now?
Okay, so next up we have RK Bro versus the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team titles. What are you saying?
I wanted to say the Street Profits, but I don't think that's the case.
I chose RK Bro
I chose RK Bro.
They are not dropping those titles until we get some kind of contention between them. I feel like it's going to come down to them forfeiting the titles.
I think it's coming
so.
Sooner
I hope so.
Later,
that'd be pretty sweet.
Randy, like, willingly
he also faked him out with an RKO.
Like, yeah, but I think that's like a red herring. I think that's them being like, oh, he could do it, but he's not going to. He's not going to be the one to do it.
I don't know.
If they're going to do anything,
they keep throwing us off with this stuff. They're doing a really good job with it. Like it could come at any moment. And I feel like it's going to be Riddle pulling the trigger. All right.
I do too. But unfortunately, I don't have happening on January 1st.
Year one.
On January 1, as the Miz would say.
And if I didn't say already, I picked RK Bro as well. So we are agreed on that. Next up, we have Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan for the Raw Women's Championship. Who did you pick?
I chose
Becky Lynch. Here's the thing. You go first.
I'm functioning under wishful thinking, but I just don't know who else would challenge Becky at this point.
Bianca, Asuka. Here's the thing, though. Johnny Ace is still in charge of the women. or the wrestlers, or women. I don't know. He's in charge of something over there regarding the women and the wrestlers. I don't think Johnny Ace likes anyone besides the horsewomen. What?
No. Bailey, I don't think is slated
so,
to come back until WrestleMania time. And I don't know what the fucking vibe is with Asuka at all, so I can't.
But there are other women that could get involved.
Also, we agree on 5 out of 8 of these.
Oh, really?
We agree on 5 out of 8 of these predictions. Yeah. No. That's why when you said, "Oh, we disagree on a lot of them," I was like, I don't think we do. Edge, Drew, RK Bro, Kevin Owens, and Brock Lesnar.
Okay. Anyway, I think with Becky and Liv, I like Liv is the Cinderella story. Like, she should be. This should definitely go to her, but knowing WWE, I don't think they'd give it to her. They had their big babyface moment with Nikki Ash. I think they're doing something more heel oriented.
Yeah, I guess my thing is just we're getting the rematch. We should get the payoff, but
it is weird that we're getting a rematch.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm resting my hat on here.
All right, so after that we have the Usos versus the New Day for the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. Who'd you pick?
I picked
the Usos.
New Day.
There was one singular thing that made me pick the Usos. It is when on SmackDown, I think it was last week or the week before, Roman very explicitly said, "I don't like when my cousins lose." So that might be flipped around.
True.
And Roman loses at day 1 while the Usos win.
I was just thinking we stripped the entire bloodline of their titles in one go.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Of the two pairs here, right, between Roman and the Usos, who do you think would turn face quicker?
Usos.
They had faced Roman for too long and everybody fucking hated him, so.
Yeah. And plus, the only thing keeping them heel is Roman.
True.
But counterpoint, in your favor, at the house shows, they've been avoiding having the Usos and the New Day fight each other, like, straight up. Like, they don't want the New Day to lose at house shows. It's been, I think, Drew teaming with Kofi. I don't know what the deal was with that. It might be them not wanting to show the New Day losing, but they've done it. They have a challenger lose in other house shows, so I don't have too much confidence in that being an indicator. Yeah.
Fingers are crossed.
Not for me.
Fingers are absolutely crossed.
I'm riding on that one line that Roman said.
Listen, with Roman, it could only take one line, so I guess that's fair. All right,
so next, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship.
Chosen
Me too.
Brock for Lesnar.
This is obvious. I mean, they plan for Roman and Brock at Mania. Have Roman lose here. Thus begins the chase. Because if Brock if Brock loses, what's going to keep him busy until WrestleMania? You know? I mean, I guess they could have him in the Rumble and he wins. I think a lot of people are predicting Brock winning the Rumble. But I don't know. I think Roman losing to Brock at day one, from a story perspective, makes more sense. Who else are you going to have Roman wrestle?
What? I think Roman's definitely dropping the title. My concern here is that Brock doesn't really seem like he wants to be on a full-time schedule. Which it kind of fucks up the title picture.
But it's only until April. 3 months.
What if Brock's back? The Drew and Brock match or interaction. It's kind of a big thing for the Royal Rumble. Like, that was something that got a lot of people psyched. What if they try to do a part 2? And then Drew wins the Universal title. I don't think if Brock gets the title, I don't think he's
definitely not past WrestleMania, but I think the plan is Roman and Brock at WrestleMania.
You know, I feel like they've been predicting Roman and Brock at WrestleMania since SummerSlam. So what I'm saying is, like, at that point I was like, fuck, that's like such a long ways away. Like, that's really annoying. I really hope it's not that. Or 4 months away. And you know what? Let me be honest with you. Really annoying. I'm upset that this was what it was. But I'm so excited for WrestleMania week. I'm also really excited for WrestleMania week when I don't have the COVID vaccine in my body. Or wreaking havoc on my body, rather. Because last WrestleMania week, I was kind of getting my shit together when WrestleMania came around. Because that booster shot knocked me on my ass.
Thinking of if Brock wins the title at day one, possible feuds to keep him busy on the road to WrestleMania. Rumble. Say he wins Rumble. Goldberg. Brock versus Goldberg in Royal Rumble. That's a huge marquee in and of itself. And what a great end to Goldberg's career, fighting Brock Lesnar. Also potentially Sami Zayn. I mean, they've had a lot of interaction on SmackDown. The thing with that, though, is he's probably winning it off of Shinsuke.
That's true.
After that gauntlet. It's tough.
You've also now brought up something that annoys me. So
Shinsuke.
Just the Shinsuke.
They could also have Drew face Brock the following pay-per-view, because it's Goldberg at Rumble, Sammy at the February pay-per-view, at Elimination Chamber it's Drew, and then April Roman. maybe Sheamus at Elimination Chamber, because Brock is very clearly a babyface right now. Yeah.
I guess he is.
But he's been doing it well. Doing it pretty well. All right. Did you have one more thing to say before we moved on to the last one? Okay.
I don't think so.
Final prediction. Big E versus Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. We got 2 predictions to make. One of them we forgot to do, but we'll make it now. It's the tiebreaker. Well, first let's pick who wins.
There's no chance of a tiebreaker. There's
just in case.
You have an odd number of. No. Because if we add a 4th differential,
this is if,
then we could,
like, God forbid, one match DQ'd, thus canceling out both of our predictions, leaving us with 2. So this is a just in case we tie. It'll only matter if we tie. We'd be predicting who eats the pin. It won't add up to our drinks unless, or our hot sauces, unless. Yeah.
You got new hot sauces.
It won't add up to that unless we tie from the initial predictions. That's how we've done it.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
We've got to get tortilla chips.
So.
Okay, so yeah, I for this match I chose as my regular prediction.
I did too.
I did too. To win. I don't want Big E to lose, but I don't see him. I feel like something
had to keep here. KO in WWE and give him $2 to $3 million.
Yeah,
that's a big sum.
Yeah. It is a lot.
So we both picked KO. Who's eating that pin? You're thinking Big E?
Maybe Big E.
You're saying Seth?
Seth. That's what
I'm saying Bobby.
Seth. I feel like Bobby has no reason to be here.
Because he was a last-second addition. And think of the rub KO would get if he pinned Bobby Lashley after Bobby beat all 3 of them to get into this match.
All right. Not wrong.
All right, so that's all of our predictions. We'll be doing Pepita Predicts. We'll have that uploaded on our YouTube, the Pinfall Podcast, tomorrow, if not early Saturday. So keep an eye out for that. Subscribe to our YouTube to keep up to date on that. You want to answer some questions? All right, so Miriam asks, what was your moment from Swingers Palace this year? Moment of the year from Swingers Palace. Mine might be when the Undead Bridesmaids tried to find one of the Swingers ladies and take her. I think it was Brandy Lauren. They inducted.
Abducted. Yeah, I was gonna say I think abducted is the right one. I was like, it happened. Didn't it happen twice? God, I don't know what to pick. There were so many good moments. I think, honestly, I don't know. This is probably cheating. Maybe my favorite Swingers Palace moment is Chris Sabin reflecting on Swingers Palace.
I feel like that's not fair.
That promo was, it's not fair, but it's just the funniest promo in the world where he's just sitting there like, those are good times. I did like Johnny Swinger's attempt to keep Swinger's Palace open at the end. I think that was one of my favorite things. It was like just him desperately figuring it out, and at no point.
What about the time that Petey Williams came in with the chainmail? Reminisce on that moment with Scott Steiner.
Fair.
That's my moment.
That's a valid idea. God. I think also, wasn't Falaba kicked out at one point? Because if I'm remembering that correctly, that was one of my favorites.
I know AC Romero had a big moment there.
Oh yeah, no, TJP I think got Falaba back into Swinger's Palace.
Oh right.
That was one of the best things. I just so many fucking times with TJP chilling out in there was so funny. And watching him because I've watched a lot of clips back now to fill my free time. Ever since Chris Sabin reflected on it. I think TJP getting Falaba back into Swinger's Palace might be one of my favorites. Especially because I think Falaba, if I'm not mistaken, was dressed as like one of the Swinger's Palace girls.
You probably dreamed that.
Unless I dreamed that, but I'm pretty sure I recall. I'll try to look it up later. If you haven't seen it.
Well, that's all the questions we have. Find it. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for sticking. What?
Alt. Mark, what was your favorite moment from the podcast this year? You want to wait till? I mean, you can wait till the Mike Romies, but I just want you to ruminate.
Category in the Mike Romies because hard to pick.
I know what mine is. Well, I know what mine is. My comedy.
That's not a moment. That's every episode. That's every episode.
My jokes.
It's every episode.
It's not every episode. It's a special time. Just saying. My jokes are probably my favorite part. Thank you, though.
Hard. It's hard for me to figure out what my favorite is.
Do you remember any moments from the podcast?
Some vague moments. Where?
Have you been here?
This is a podcast?
The podcast.
I thought we were just in a Discord call.
Yeah.
Are you recording me? I don't know what's so funny.
Imagine this is where the podcast ends.
Yeah.
Just Mark becomes sentient. Mark doesn't actually exist out of the podcast. He's been trapped in this room. It's very Black Mirror.
Week. Until they finally go black. Even in the daytime.
Oh. You see those curtains? That's not actually to a window. That's definitely got concrete.
Oh, one of my favorite moments was having you read Finn Balor fan fiction. And also doing the Guess Who. That was fun.
Finn Balor fan fiction actually was really fucking funny. That may have been one of my favorite moments too. That was like, it was so stupid. And I think the reason I'm still mad about it is because it's the perfect punishment. And I will never be able to recreate it.
Oh, I was just reminded of something that I have to admit. So everyone who watches our 2K20 stream, I fucked up real bad. So we are on the road to Royal Rumble. We had just finished TLC. And we had the next pay-per-view was an NXT TakeOver, which I said we were going to make our own pay-per-view. So I went to the calendar for the universe mode. I accidentally hit enter. You're supposed to hit X to edit it, or Z. I hit enter. And that fast forwarded and simulated everything to that point. So we are now in the go home show for the Royal Rumble on Tuesday. Yeah, I did.
Mark fucked up.
I'm not proud of him. I was very mad at myself earlier. But that means the Royal Rumble is happening next weekend. The day after the Mike Romi. It's so perfect. Lines up perfectly.
I still think it's really funny. Mark was so pissed off, and I was like, what?
It's because I planned out my bracket, so the finals happened at the Rumble. Or the winner faced Kenny at the Rumble. Guess it'll have to happen at fucking Fastlane or some shit. Alright. So, thank you all so much for sticking with us over 2021. It's been a great year. It's been a whole ride for us. And we hope we've been able to entertain you for this year. And we would love to hear your thoughts on our show on Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. Or in the suggestion box below the Twitch stream at twitch.tv/Pinfall Podcast, or leave a comment on YouTube. Tell us what you think. Tell us your favorite memory from 2021. And if you're listening on Spotify, write us on Twitch at Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. We look forward to a great 2022 with you, as well as a fun Mike Romi's to kick off the year. I am too.
I'm so excited!
Have a great night, everybody. We will see you on Sunday for our Day 1 recap. Yes, we're doing it on Sunday, the day after Day 1 actually happens. Right? Doing it on Sunday?
Yeah.
Do you actually know we're doing it on Sunday, or are we doing it on Saturday?
Yeah. I know it now.
Do you want to do it on Saturday instead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Saturday. Okay.
Well, just because we do
Saturday,
predictions and stuff.
Right after Day 1, we will be here at twitch.tv/Pinfall Podcast to recap and review the show for you and give you the results of our predictions. So have a great night, everybody. We will see you on Saturday for Day 1. But until then, Happy New Year.